Hey, soul survivors, we're going to talk about the distinct differences between a dismissive avoidant and somebody who has narcissistic personality disorder, because a lot of times people get the two confused. So they do handle things differently. Narcissists and dismissive avoidants, they handle a lot of situations differently. And this is due to their distinct emotional frameworks and also their coping mechanisms. So, we're going to go through a little breakdown, how they might approach different situations. And we're also going to talk about key behavioral and verbal differences, give you some examples. So, in conflict resolution, the narcissist, their behavior will often escalate conflicts to maintain control or assert dominance. They often blame other people, they like to deflect accountability. They can even use manipulation tactics like gaslighting. So, some of the common phrases you might hear from them are: you're too sensitive. I didn't mean it like that. It's not my fault. You're the one that messed up. I don't need to explain myself. You just don't get it. After everything I've done for you, this is how you repay me. But a dismissive avoidant, they tend to withdraw or they will shut down during conflict to protect themselves emotionally, and they can become distant or avoiding discussing the issue altogether. So it gets a little confusing with the silent treatment or just how they handle it. So the common phrases you'll hear from a dismissive avoidant: I don't want to talk about this right now. You're overthinking things. It's not a big deal. Can't we just drop it? It's not worth arguing about. I need space. You're suffocating me. So both of them will retract from communication, or the narcissist will get in your face about it. But the emotional vulnerability with the narcissist, according to their behavior style, they're going to avoid emotional vulnerability because it threatens their image of superiority. They might dismiss others' emotions or even use vulnerability as a means to gain sympathy or manipulate. So you'll hear them saying things like, you're being dramatic. Nobody else would react like this. I guess I'm just too good at hiding my emotions. You wouldn't understand. People expect me to be perfect all the time. It's exhausting. Why are you so needy all the time? But the behavior of a dismissive avoidant, also known as a DA, they struggle with emotional vulnerability because of the fear of intimacy or even rejection. So they may minimize their emotions or push other people away to avoid closeness. That's why when you're with them, as soon as things start going good, that's when they often leave you. And it's very confusing, very hurtful. But they'll say things like, I'm fine. I don't need to talk about it. Feelings just complicate things. I prefer to keep it simple. I'm not good at this emotional stuff. So let's just move on. Also, I don't see the point of digging up the past. And when you're dealing with a narcissist, when it comes to relationships and intimacy, they can seek relationships to bolster their self-image. That's that source of supply. And they do this to satisfy their need for admiration. They can be charming in the beginning, but struggle with genuine emotional intimacy. So they'll say things like, you're lucky to have me. I'm not like other people. I deserve someone who truly appreciates me, even though you're going over and above the top. But you bring up one little thing and they feel that you're not appreciative. And they'll say, I'm the one putting in all the effort here, discounting anything that you've done. And I just can't deal with your emotional baggage, making you feel like your emotions are a burden to them. And they do that to shut you down. But a DA, they avoid this deep intimacy because they need independence. They often value autonomy over closeness, and they start to become uncomfortable with the displays of affection or dependency. So they may say things like, I need my freedom, relationships shouldn't feel so restrictive. I don't understand why you need constant reassurance. I'm not good at expressing my feelings, but that doesn't mean I don't care. Why can't things just stay casual and easy? And perceived criticism, whether it's real or not. The narcissist, they will react defensively or even aggressively to criticism. They view it as a personal attack. That's why when you try to talk to them, you always feel like they're on the attack when you're just trying to bring up something that should be so simple. So they might lash out, devalue the critic, or play the victim. And they say things like, "Who do you think you are to criticize me? I don't need your advice. I know what I'm doing. You're just jealous of my success. If you were smarter, you'd understand why I did that." But the DA, they will avoid confrontation and criticism by shutting down emotionally or even changing the subject. They can rationalize or dismiss feedback. They feel it's unnecessary, and they'll let you know that. Common phrases: "It doesn't matter. I'm over it. You're making a big deal out of nothing. Let's just agree to disagree." Now, there are times that is helpful, but it also is not resolving the conflict. So sometimes we do have to agree to disagree, but if you're in the beginning stages of trying to talk through it and they just dismiss you, and they can even say things like, "I didn't ask for your opinion." So coping with stress, the narcissist, they externalize stress by blaming others or seeking validation, engaging in attention-seeking behavior. That's why they commonly cheat. Not all of them do, but they will escape. They may overreact or use others as emotional outlets. They will say things like, "Everyone is against me. I'm the only one holding it together. If people would just listen to me, this wouldn't be so chaotic. You wouldn't survive a day with what I deal with. This is your fault. You're not pulling your weight." But the DA, they internalize stress by detaching emotionally and focusing on tasks or distractions. So they might be a workaholic or focusing on hobbies or video games. They can avoid sharing their feelings and often seek solitude, just wanting to be alone. And their common phrases are, "I just need to handle this on my own." So even if you're trying to be supportive, they would rather be alone doing it. And that's why it's really hard to have a relationship with them. Also, talking about it won't change anything. So they already shut it down. They don't try to work it out. They just feel it's not going to change. "I don't want to burden anyone with my problems." So they won't even share what they're going through. And they'll say it's just easier to move on and not dwell on things. So they don't like talking about the past. They don't like taking accountability as well. They don't like sitting in the discomfort. And sometimes we have to sit in discomfort. So the key differences when we talk about core motivation, narcissist, need for admiration and control. DA, need for independence and emotional distance. The conflict style, narcissist, aggressive, deflective, and manipulative, but the DA is withdrawn, avoidant, and dismissive. The emotional response, a narcissist will overreact, they'll seek validation or manipulate. But the dismissive avoidant, those are the ones that underreact, downplay, detach. And when it comes to relationship goals, the narcissist is self-serving, seeks admiration, but the DA is autonomy focused and avoids emotional dependency. So understanding these differences can help you navigate interactions with either of these people. And it also helps identify their emotional needs and triggers. So it can be quite hurtful to be in these type of relationships because relationships are all about connection. And you don't want to feel attacked. You don't want to feel dismissed when you're trying to have a relationship with someone in any capacity. But that helps give you a little bit of insight because I see a lot of people with DAs and they think they're narcissists. So comment below. Did that give you some insight? Do you still feel your person is a narcissist, or do they tend to be more of a dismissive avoidant or something else?